folks. I've had her in the car before. We've been out at events. And ladies and gentlemen, Carla Mulhern of the Izzy Foundation. We've talked about this wonderful organization before, but we talk about them again because, hey, well, bottom line is they're always doing great things in our community. Carla, good to see you. How are you?
Good to see you, Ben. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's a pleasure as always. For those who don't know and maybe are new to different charitable groups or nonprofits in our area, what is the Izzy Foundation?
So the Izzy Foundation, you can see I've got Jeffrey behind me.
Ah, yes.
Izzy Foundation is a foundation that was formed in memory of Isabella Walrab, who unfortunately, a little after her first birthday, she was diagnosed with stage 4 pediatric cancer. Her parents, who were both doctors and still are in the Rhode Island network, kind of went place to place to find treatment for Izzy, started a fund to be able to give her a stem cell. They traveled as far as to Germany to find research to help with Izzy. Unfortunately, a little after her third birthday, she passed away. And, her parents are both so strong. And, I think a lot of times when you lose someone, you kind of, crawl in a hole and like, I give up. They took that funding and they put it into the Izzy Family Room, which is a beautiful purple room on the 5th floor of Hasbro Children's Hospital. And it is kind of a safe haven for parents and patients when they come into the hospital. Usually when a child has to come in, they're usually there for at least 30 days.
Wow.
What we try to do is provide a warm meal every day for the families, coffee nonstop, thanks to our friends at Dunkin' Donuts, snacks, hygiene products. We kind of have it as our little purple living room to be able to provide some, I guess, quiet time and some peaceful time for our families when they're in sometimes a scary situation like a hospital.
Well, there's so much going on. I can only imagine because, I've never been through it, but, I've worked with you and enough organizations to know that there's so much going on during that time frame that, sometimes the basics are overlooked in our own, in the parent's own personal, you know, life because you're so focused on other things. So to have that little bit of respite, that little bit of normalcy and something that somebody else may have thought of so you don't have to is such a great, tool there, and it's such a wonderful thing to provide a little bit of mental relief,
Mhm.
if you will. But as there is with anything these days, we have the need for support, and we depend on many local people in our area to help support and get us through. And you do it through some great events, Carla. Nobody throws events better than you do. So, what do you have coming up for the Izzy Foundation? I hear there's an outdoor event of sorts.
There is. I've actually like sporting my Izzy gear today.
There you go.
We have our first ever Izzy 1K 5K. We call it the Izzy K, and it's coming up on Saturday, April 8th at Goddard Park, which if you haven't been, it's beautiful.
Oh yeah.
And we have a 1K kicking off for the kids at 9:30, followed by the 5K for the adults. We have Jelly Beans the bunny coming and doing a little egg hunt with the children. There'll be music. There'll be lots of food. We have awards and music. It's going to be a really, really, really fun day. We're really excited about it.
Well, that's the beauty of these kind of events. And obviously, we're so lucky, here in Rhode Island where we have these beautiful state parks and beautiful venues to do these kind of events. And I mean, booking the Easter Bunny during Easter season, I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, pretty hard.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not easy, and I respect that. The whole bringing the community together. Look, if you can do the 1K, if you can do the 5K, either or, just bring money. Bottom line, just
That's
leave
right.
that, you'll be fine. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, you pay enough, we'll say you did 5K. But but that's such a great thing, and it builds up that camaraderie in that community because you never know who is out there who may be going through a situation where they could really, it may not be them themselves, but they may know somebody or they'll see somebody at this event and say, "Oh, wait a minute, what's your connection?" And it might open up the doors and start a new conversation, which is
Yeah.
really what we're hoping for. You do other events throughout the year, though. Talk a little bit about those because if for some reason people aren't available on the 8th, there are other things you do throughout the year.
Yes. So we have we just finished up our Winterfest, but we have coming up right after the 5K, we have our golf event, which will be on July 10th at Wannamoysit Country Club. We have our Light of Our Lives event, which will be more for for families to come out, like a family fun day, and that will be on September 10th, and location to be kind of brought up very, very soon.
Sure.
And then, believe it or not, I feel like we just finished our gala, but before you know it, it'll be here. We have our gala coming up. This will be at the Providence Public Library on October 13th. So we are very much looking forward to it, and all of the dates are already set. Tickets are available. If you go on our website, everything is right there, and the information is there for everybody.
What's something people are surprised to learn about the Izzy Foundation that they may not have known, or if they've been in it, or if people are just hearing for the first time? What's a unique thing or something just kind of out of the ordinary that people like? Oh wow, I didn't think of that. Because you've been there for a little while now, so it's still even to you, it's still relatively new to you.
Yes, I'm actually coming up, believe it or not, it'll be a year this weekend that I've been here. I think one of the things, and I'm, born in Rhode Island, stayed in my whole life, I really didn't realize all that the Izzy Foundation did for families until I started working here. And I talk about it, but our office manager, she went in trying to go into the hospital to see what was wrong with her son. And she spent the next 2 years at the
Wow.
hospital. She didn't go home. So I think it's not even realizing that some of these parents don't have an opportunity to even get a toothbrush or toothpaste. The one thing I was surprised is that there is no cafeteria at Hasbro. The cafeteria is at Rhode Island Hospital. And even though that's not, a humongous long walk, when you have a child that's sick, the last thing you want to do is leave that child's side. So that's where we come in, and we need the help of we couldn't do what we do without the awareness that you're providing, without donations, to be able to give those meals to families after a long day. Some of them don't eat all day, Ben. That's why we'll leave it in the fridge for them, come down, get something to eat, have a cup of coffee, watch a movie, whatever we can do. And now that, hopefully, knock on wood, we're getting past this pandemic word, we're able to have volunteers to come back in. We're able to have events to do things for families and be able to have them have a little more normalcy than before, where you're kind of trapped in your room. So I think part of it is that it's just the awareness. And a lot of times people don't know unless, there's a situation, unfortunately, where you or someone has to bring their child into Hasbro. I think letting people know that we're there is so important. And there's so many people. I have a lot of work to do to make sure that everybody knows what the Izzy Foundation is all about.
We're very lucky in this area, this market, this region, to have Hasbro Children's Hospital, and I mean the doctors there are incredible, world class care. We literally have people who travel from all over the world to get care at
Mhm.
Hasbro Children's Hospital, and with that, it's the community's job to kind of wrap our arms around collectively the family, because the patient is getting great care, but we do have to look out for the family. And you're right, sometimes I would imagine that, and I've heard the stories where the last thing on your mind is you're thinking of yourself. You're not thinking about your own needs. You're not thinking about your own dietary or nutrition. And 2 or 3 days go by and you're like, when was the last time I ate? Am I
Yeah.
not drinking water? Why do I feel kind of woozy? And so it's helpful that that meal, okay, maybe it's not hot and fresh, but somebody thought to put it into the fridge and keep it, so at least when it's there, when you're able to get it, it's there, which is such a great thing. Where can people go to learn more about the Izzy Foundation, to learn more about the race, and to sign up, volunteer, and more importantly, send their millions and millions of dollars?
Yes. So they can go to, it's the izzyfoundation.org. There is information there, like you said. If anybody's interested in providing a meal, we feed 50 families a day. We go through 300 bottles of water a week plus more. All of that stuff. They can learn all about who we are, how to get involved. Some people have reached out that want to do donation drives for items, and then all our events, which help us keep the Izzy Foundation going and growing, which is what I would love to see. I want to see the light that Izzy had, shining through everybody in this state and beyond. So that's my crusade. So yes, the izzyfoundation.org, all of the information is right there. You can find out all about Izzy and her story, and get involved in any way you want. There's a million ways that you can be involved with us.
There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Carla Mulhern, thank you so much for being here today and for sharing this message. Take care of my buddy Brian too.
Thank
I
you.
know that's kind of the cross the bear in life, on top of everything else you do.
That's another job in itself, man. We need to do a show on that one.
Thank you so much, folks. Go online, share this episode, go follow and learn what they're doing over there. And more importantly, we'll see you on April 8th over at Goddard Park for the
Thanks,
exciting
Ben.
event.